So I just watched this Destiny Sidwell video about her book talk icks or icks while reading books, and I was sort of spoiled on something on a book I haven't yet read, but it's on my TBR, and it's one I got recently, so I'm just like, maybe that's how I'm gonna like be forced to read them to get out of my book slump, because I'm still in a book slump. Hello, hi. I'm Jessie. Welcome back to my channel. Now that she said that, I want to read it now. Like, am I just gonna have to have people just tell me to read this book and spoil me a little bit so then I read it? So that's how I'm gonna get out of my book slump? I don't know. Never thought of that, but it's just odd. But anyways, by the title of this video, this is a book unhaul, and I have quite a lot of books here to share with y'all. It's kind of overwhelming, to be honest. But the reason why I'm getting rid of some of these books is either because they're backlists, which I say backlist, but I feel like that's such like a kind of, oh my god, you're calling a book old term, you know what I mean? But like, I don't mean it in a bad way. Backlist because I've had them on my bookshelf so long, they're backlisted, and if I haven't got to them yet, I probably never will. And plus, I am buying so many books, newer books I want to read more than the backlist books. So yeah, and others I've DNF'd, so I'm getting rid of those, or I just don't care to read them anymore. I'll probably say like a few things about it, but I do want to like speed through this since there's so many books. This book, Falling Under by Gwyn Hayes, I got this when I first started my booktube channel, and I never read it. I haven't read it yet, so I'm never gonna read it. And I'm not interested. Next is The Initial Insult by Mindy McGinnis, and I got this in a bookish box book, and I'm never gonna read this. Don't really care about what the book is about, and plus I don't like the cover art on either side. I don't like it. Yeah, getting rid of it. I think this was signed actually, so I might sell these somewhere. Okay, it is. I was gonna say, usually bookish box books are signed, so I'm probably gonna sell these. Usually the rest will go into my bag I have in my car for hunting free little libraries. Gold Spun by Brandy June. It's like a fairy book. I don't like the cover. I don't like the sprayed edges. Not interested in the synopsis because it's signed. Because like she makes a deal with like the Prince of Hay or whatever to get back her friend who was, I don't know. I don't care. Sorry if you like some of these books or have loved some of these books that I am unhauling, but no offense to you, because I'm pretty sure it could be vice versa too. A Fire and Stars by Audrey Coldhurst. I started to read this book, could not get into it. Don't like the writing, don't like the structures, don't like the characters, and I read this when I got it, and that was like a couple years ago. So I'm never gonna read it again. Getting rid of it. This is gonna be an unpopular opinion. Twisted Love by Anna Hong. I DNF'd this book because I despise the structure, the characters, the writing. Absolutely not. Jack the Ripper, 100 Years of Investigation, the Facts, the Fiction, the Solutions by Terrence Sharkley. I'm never gonna read this. I got this for $1 at my library book store. It's a little cubicle in the library that they like are selling books or like audiobooks, and like donate $1 if you want one. Yeah, I'm never gonna read that. Never gonna read that. I'll listen to podcast episodes of them talking about Jack the Ripper, so I don't need that. Tell Me How You Really Feel by Amina May Safi. I got this book a couple years ago. I'm never gonna read it. A Song to Take the World Apart by Zan Romanoff. I got this when it first came out, and this was like 2016. I don't care about it anymore. The synopsis does not interest me about like some girl and her family have like, they can't sing, they're forbidden to sing because they have like magical singing voices. I don't know, I don't care. Solstice by PJ Hoover. This is a apocalyptic book, as you can tell. I'm not into my apocalypse phase anymore, like the Fifth Wave trilogy. That's when I got this. Don't care. If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Russo. She goes to a brand new school because she has a secret, and she meets a boy, I think, and she tells her secret to this boy. I have no clue. I don't care. It's like it's high school. Even though it seems more hard-hitting, I just don't care. Wild Beauty by Anna Marie Michelmore. This is a fantastical story, as you can probably tell from the title, the cover. Don't care about it anymore. Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. I love the cover of this, but I read a Margaret Rogerson book before and I hated her writing. And I got this in a bookish box. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gotten it any other way. Yeah. Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. This is the book I was talking about that I cannot stand. I did not like the structure of the story, the writing, the characters. It's just very juvenile for me, and I'm not there anymore in my reading journey. Also, I probably should have said this at the beginning, do not mind the background. TBR shelf, books I've already read. This one, obviously, TBR is chaos. But I do actually like this shelf. I did kind of customize it, made it pretty to my liking a little bit. Yeah. Jingle Wars by Maren Moore and Veronica Eden. I tabbed it. I DNF'd this book because one of my bookish tropes, I guess you could say, that I do not like in this book, and I wish it was like on the synopsis, even if I think it was hinting at it, but it just went over my head, that it's a reality show competition and like competing against each other, and they're the two love interests. I really could care less for reality show competition, so it was like a reality show, like a movie set. I don't care, I don't like, so I DNF'd that, and I didn't like the main girl character. Wink Poppy Midnight by April Gwyneth Tulk. This is like a thriller. The synopsis is very vague, but I'm just not interested in it anymore, and I've had this on my shelf for so long. It ain't gonna get read anytime soon, but I do like the cover. The Chemist by Stephanie Meyer. I got this at Goodwill for $1, and I just got it because, oh my gosh, she's the author of Twilight. I'm gonna read this. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna read this thick-ass book. I don't care what synopsis. Tumble and Fall by Alexandra Coates. I think this is like an apocalyptic thing. I'm sorry if you heard that internal burp. Disgusting. Yeah, like an asteroid is coming to the earth, and like I think it follows different people and like their last minutes alive. Yeah, I don't want to read about that right now. Twisted Fate by Nora Olson. I do believe this is about twins, and they both have an attraction towards this one guy. Then like things happen and they fight for a guy, and it kind of gets like tense. Angel Burn by L.A. Weatherly. This is like the first book I showed y'all. Is when I got this book. It was just at the beginning of when I started videos on YouTube. Never gonna read this. Never will. Goodbye. These Feathered Flames by Alexandra Overy. This was a bookish box book. Yeah, I'm not interested. I'm not like in a fantastical dragon phase right now. I think I was when I was in my urban fantasy phase. That's not even fantastical. But it is really pretty. But I'm never gonna read this. Don't have any interest in it at all. From Here to Eternity by Caitlin Dowie. This I also got at my not free little library, libraries give $1, take a book, you know thing. I thought it was interesting, and plus I really like the cover. I'm never gonna read that. I don't want it on my shelf anymore. We're done with one pile, and then we have this tote full of books. Yeah. 3 Dark Crowns by Kendar Blake. I know this is really popular when it came out, and I just never read it, and I'm not interested in it at all anymore. But it has deckled edges. Look at that. Aristotle and Dante. Did I say that weird? Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Benjamin Alar-Sanez. I butchered that. I know. I'm so sorry. I will never read this. I got this because everyone was talking about it, so I wanted to fit in. I'm never going to read this. Don't really didn't even really have an interest in it when I bought it. Peer pressure. Dreams Lie Beneath by Rebecca Ross. This, excuse me. This is the Bookish Box book. Where is it? Isn't it signed? I'm pretty sure it's signed. There, okay. Front page, whoops. I have no interest in this. It's a fantastical story. Just no interest in it at all. And the cover kind of bothers me because it's so dark you can barely see what's going on. That's really bothering me for some reason. Okay. In the Woods by Tana French. If you saw my latest Free Little Library adventure video, you saw I got this. I did want to read it, but the cover really intrigued me more, so that's why I took it. But to be honest, I'm not going to read this. I just took it because it looks pretty. I need to be more intentional with what I want now with books. You should always be like that anyways. It's a me problem. Once Upon a River by Diane Stedfield. This is, it's like, okay, the author of 13th Tale. It's a fantastical story of a girl that like washes up and she's a mute, and then someone says something magical to where it unlocks to where she can talk. I don't know. I was in my fantastical phase when I bought this book. I do really like the cover, but I'm never gonna get to reading it. Arena 1 by Morgan Rice. I got this at the start of my booktube channel. It's an, I don't think it's an apocalyptic, but it has that grungy post-apocalyptic world. There you go. It's short. I bet I could like breeze through this, but I just don't care to read it. And then plus it's a really small print, y'all. Yeah. Court of Dragons by Frost K. This was a Bookish Box book. I'm never gonna read this. Not my type at all. Again But Better by Christine Riccio. I have 2 books of these, but I'm keeping one because it's a personalized signed books. I went to her book signing meet and greet. I do have a video of that, so I'll post it somewhere. But I know I'm never gonna get to reading this, and I don't need 2 copies, but I want to keep the one that's personalized, you know? You know. Because I heard in that story it condones a cheating trope, which cheating is never okay. I don't, in real life and in books, I don't want to read that either, because I don't think that's any okay all around. Wow, words. What are they? Match by Ali Condi. This was like at the height of Divergent. I'm never gonna read it if it's been that long. Yeah. Buy the Book by Jasmine Guillory. I DNF'd this book because I do not like the writing. It's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, but it's like, to where it's like so obvious that she's the sunshine, he's the grumpy, to where it's like, it's not blended in at all. It's like, eye roll of a book. So I couldn't even get past like 50 pages, I think. What is that? Not even 50 pages. I couldn't even, sorry, I just hit y'all. I couldn't even get past it, but I do love Jasmine Guillory's The Wedding Date, I think it is. I think I have another book by her that I haven't read yet, but I do want to get to reading it because I do like her writing, but this was just a miss. And I don't think it was her idea. I think she was like, this is like a series, but each book is by a different author. So I think it was one of those cash grab things, you know? First Light by Jenna Showalter. It's a thicker book, but like I'm still kind of intrigued in it, but it's been so long. 2016. And she's the author of Alice in Zombieland, which I love that series. I read it in high school. And that's why I got this book, because she's the author of it. And I don't know if I'll like this book because it's so like so young adult, but it's like written for a young adult audience. I don't know, because I think I won't. If I reread Alice in Zombieland, I don't think I would like the writing as I did back then, because it's written for a young audience, if you know what I mean. So this might be, I don't know. I'm still intrigued by the concept. It's just the writing that I'm kind of worried that is written for the youth. Do you know? Yeah. So now we are getting into the tote. First book that's literally on the top is The Ravens by Cass Morgan and Danielle Page. This is about a sorority girls that are witches, and there's one girl, she gets into the sorority, but I don't think she knows that it's witches or whatever. Yeah, I got it because of the cover, and it did sound interesting at the time that I bought this, but I'm not into witches anymore, man. I'm not into reading about that. And plus, Danielle Page, where's your sequel to that one book? It's not Frost Queen. What is it? Stealing Snow. I liked that book, and it leaves on a cliffhanger, and she comes out with this book when I want the sequel to Stealing Snow. What the fuck? Next is A Very Large Expanse of the Sea by Tahira Mafi, and this is a signed edition, but I got it at Half Price Books. I'm not interested in the story anymore. It's not intriguing to me, even though it's a hard-hitting story. I'm not gonna read this. Autumn's Tiff by Hannah Parker. This is a bookish box book, hence the cover and the spine, or the pages. And it's signed, and it's really pretty actually, but oh wow, that's bright. It just splashed me in the eye. I don't know, it's kind of intriguing now that I'm looking at it. I think I got another fairy book mixed up with this one. She's rescuing her friend from the Fae land. Something like that. I don't know. I actually might keep this. What is wrong with me now? 2 books I'm keeping. But fun fact, Tiff, I've always pronounced it Tithe. Like Tithe by Holly Black. That's how I pronounced it, but until like recently, like maybe a couple months ago at church, they said Tiff and explained what it was, which means 10th. That fun fact, that's how I know how to pronounce it now. Church is good. You'll learn things. The Witch Haven by Sasha Payton Smith. This is obviously a bookish box. Fun fact, I haven't read any of my bookish box books. Yeah. That's my fault though. Not interested in it at all, so and there's probably a way that for the bookish box I could have like changed it to like a different genre of books, but I didn't know that at the time, so don't judge me. Pride and Premeditation by Tarza Price. This is a Jane Austen retelling, and I'm on the fence about this book too, because I want to read it. It sounds interesting as heck, but I just hate the cover. I don't like the cover at all, and I really don't like the end pages. And I know I should get past that and just read the dang book, but I really just despise the lime green. That's the whole thing. I might hold on to that too. What is wrong with me? 3 books I'm holding on to. Well, compared to this whole pile, I'm doing pretty good, I would say. Oh my lord. Y'all, if you've been here since I posted the reading vlog for this book, you know I despise this book so much. I'm so hyped for it because it's everything I want and love. But the writing, it's horrible. The structure of the story is horrible. The characters are horrible. Everything about it is horrible. If you've been here and you know what I'm talking about, you'll know. My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. This was my first Tessa Bailey book. I was so hyped for it, and it's horrible. I don't know how this was published. And I hear that this was just like a miss of a Tessa Bailey book because her books are actually hits. I see them everywhere at Target. So I'm like, how is she publishing if this book's so horrible? But I guess this was just a miss. I'm blabbering. But this is like a bounty hunter romance with like a girl that goes on vacation with her brother, and they find a dead body in their rental home, and he's coming to figure out or like investigate the dead body, and like, you know, and they fall in love. But it's just done so poorly. It's smut, but written horribly. Like, there's good smut out there, but this is just like desperate smut. I believe I'm getting rid of, I don't even know which one is the first book in the series. This series by Lanny Taylor. I was so hyped for this book because I was like looking forever for, I think, this book to match these 2 books, and yeah. And then I think this is actually the first book in the series. I tried reading this and I just could not get into it at all. It made me really sad, but actually I'm not interested in this series anymore, so these are going bye-bye. An Anonymous Girl by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pecken. I think this is another book that I got from a free little library that I am interested in this. It's like a thriller, domestic thriller. It's giving me Gone Girl vibes, like the cover at least. I might put this aside. Wow, Jess. And oh, we're down to the last book, y'all. I didn't even realize that. The last book here is The Wicked King by Holly Black. I feel like I'm gonna get flack for this because this is such an unpopular opinion. Obviously I read The Cruel Prince. It was okay, it wasn't for me. I read it, but and then I got this because peer pressure, and it came out, and I was like so excited for it. I was excited for it and like happy for the series, but I don't know why I bought this. Yeah, I'm not gonna read this. I'm not gonna continue the series. It's just not for me. Wow. So I'm keeping 4 books out of this huge pile. But those are the books I am unhauling for sure that are in the pile. Not these 4 books. I do have more books that I'm going through, so stay tuned for more unhauling books video. So like, subscribe if you want more videos by me, and I'll see you guys later. Bye guys.